I'm with the Women's Liberation Front, and we are a national radical feminist organization that works to restore, protect, and advance the rights of women and girls. We strongly support the inclusion of sex, pregnancy, reproductive freedom, and sexual orientation in SJR0035 as immutable protected characteristics. We appreciate Connecticut's move to enshrine these protections in the state constitution where they cannot be easily undone. However, we equally strongly object to the inclusion of gender identity. It is a forced teaming of women's rights, gay rights, and transgender ideology. It creates a direct conflict with women's rights and the rights of LGBT individuals, placing it entirely outside the human history of human rights legislation. When we secure human rights, we never remove rights from others, but that's what gender identity requires. Earlier tonight, the ACLU could not provide you with a clear definition of gender. It is defined by activists as changeable, fluid, and therefore it's not immutable. Gender is also self-identification. One identifies as the opposite sex. Well-funded advocacy organizations seek to make it law so that we all have to pretend that someone is a different sex. In many states, incarcerated males identify as women to transfer into the women's prison. No concern is given to the women who are locked up with these men. We have a case in California, Tremaine Carroll, who's on trial for raping 2 women as a convicted sex offender. He identified as a woman and transferred into the women's prison. He's since been remanded back to the men's prison. My organization is suing the state of California for transferring men into women's prisons. There have been male students who have been convicted of raping girls in all gender bathrooms in states like Virginia. A man identifying as a woman is suing a gynecologist for refusing to, examine him. When you incorporate gender identity as a protected characteristic, you've legalized it so that any man can enter any woman's private space, group, app, homeless shelter, rape crisis center, prison cell, bathroom, medical service, locker room, and changing room. Refusal will be discrimination under this law. Girls are not attempting to get on male sports teams or into their bathrooms. Women are not trying to get into the boxing ring or prison cells with men. Only women and LGBT rights are subsumed under gender ideology. We've heard from lesbians who are being told it's transphobic for them to not date a man who says he's a trans man. That's actually homophobia. We agree with Jamie Reed that gender-affirming care is a cruel lie. It's sex trait modification. Humans cannot change sex, but kids are told that puberty is optional and they can be the opposite sex. None of this is true, and it's also not reversible. We applaud the attempt to protect women, including our reproductive freedoms and LGBT individuals from discrimination, but we oppose the inclusion of gender identity and expression, as it will create conflict with women's rights and cause harm to LGBT individuals. Thank you for letting me testify tonight.